From the Washington, this is Jorge Bonilla posting. He did it. Elon Musk fired the CEO, CFO, and censor-in-chief. They say CEO Parag Agrawal, Chief Financial Officer Ned Segal, and Vijaya Gadde, Head of Legal Policy, Trust, and Safety, were all fired, according to the people.
Elon was listening. When a prince must commit atrocities, commit them early. Commit them early.
His story is breaking. Wow, that's why she cried.
We go.
Yeah.
She knew.
Well, Elon. Okay, I'm sorry. Look.
She should have listened to Tim Pool when Tim Pool tried to set it right.
She bought herself 3 years. Well, actually, Vijaya, if you are listening, I think it was early 2019.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I said, you guys can't keep doing this, and I actually said to Jack, if you keep doing this, there's going to be conflict.
Jack Dorsey.
To Dorsey. What did I say?
Well, geez, make sure you didn't mean me.
Oh, no, right. I said there's going to be violence. And then I joked. I was like, I'm building a van. I'm going to go live down. And then they all laughed. And then what did Joe say, a couple months ago? He's like, I had Tim Pool on my show, and he was talking about Civil War. And I'm like, nah, get out of here, man. You're crazy. Now I think he might be right. So, these people should have listened to what I was saying when I was saying it. They didn't understand, though. I think Vijaya understood. The last thing she says is, thank you for the feedback. Well, now it took 3
those
years
issues to my attention.
Took 3 years, but she got fired. So I really would love to have.
Yeah, my phone's lighting up. Parag has left the building.
Wow.
Out.
I want to sit down with Joe and Elon and talk about all of this stuff, and because
Vijaya is trending.
Vijaya is trending. Well, look, we did that episode, and a lot of people aren't familiar with the story. Like, I only had a couple 100,000 subscribers. I didn't have a big YouTube channel or anything like that. And Joe knew who I was. We talked for a bit. He ended up seeing a video where I did a commentary on Twitter censorship. I commented on his episode with Jack Dorsey that got panned, explaining some of the issues that I thought were wrong. Joe hits me up. I go out do his show. After the show, he says, how would you like to come on with Jack and their head of legal? And I was like, are you nuts, dude? I can't do that. And then he's like, no, come, let's do it. We did it. And I wouldn't call it perfect. There's probably a lot of things I'd look back on and say I probably could have brought up other issues. But I think it was extremely important. They did not expect it. The things that I brought up, notably that their misgendering policy overtly favors a leftist worldview, they didn't expect that. They thought, we have rules, they broke the rules, they get banned. I came in and said, that rule set only applies to people who believe it. And the conservatives have an inverted worldview on what misgendering is. And they were like, oh. Well, here you go. That's it. So,
wow.
Glad to see it. I really would love to talk to Elon, but come on, I've tweeted at him several times. It is what it is. You get him on the show, if he's the richest guy in the world. So good luck with that, I suppose.
Or just privately trying to reach out, being like, hey, maybe we could try to help you somehow.
Well, I think one of the issues with Elon is that I think the statement he issued to advertisers makes sense from a business perspective. He doesn't want them to flee thinking he's going to make a hate speech platform. He's got to control some of the narrative. I think he gets that.
But he also specifically said in that letter, hey, you get to choose your experience here by expressing your preferences. You want to see something? You could see something. You don't want to see something? You don't have to see it. This is a rational adult take on the situation that leaves you responsible for what you decide you want to see on big tech social media instead of an all-knowing algorithm that, of course, will curate content for you and act as a form of mass hypnosis, mind control. So this is a step in the right direction.
He also fired Twitter's general counsel, Sean Edgett.
Oh.
Thank goodness.
One of the executives was escorted out of the building. If this is all we get, thank you, Elon Musk.
Lock him up.
If tomorrow Elon just goes, I'm going to keep Twitter the exact same way it's always been, I'll be like, hey, it was worth it for that one day where we all got to laugh about the firing and escorting out of these people.
What happens if someone refuses to leave? Right?
Well, that's what happens.
Like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
If you face Elon,
it's like the what is it?
Seamus.
Jordan Belfort.
Seamus, here's the cartoon you got to make. You've already got the animations from when you did the video with Vijaya. She's holding onto the wall going, no, and they're pulling her out of the building.
Well, the next thing, she needs to be dragged before Congress and face the wrath of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we need answers about why they suspended our great President Donald J. Trump.
I found the actual quote from Machiavelli. I've been messing it up, but paraphrasing it. The actual quote is this. Cruelties are well used if it is permitted to speak well of evil that are carried out in a single stroke, done out of necessity to protect oneself and then are not continued, but are instead converted into the greatest possible benefit for the subjects. The greatest convert. So that's my message to Elon. Convert this moment into the greatest possible benefit for the subjects.
So who should we have? In terms of replacing Vijaya, I'd say I don't know.
Donald Trump.
James Lindsay. James Lindsay, are you working right now? Like, what are you working on? You're doing.
He should
new
only
discourses?
appoint people that are currently banned on Twitter
Milo.
to the Twitter Trust and Safety team.
Milo's busy with interning for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Who is the
It's important work.
Ron Paul. Bring in Ron Paul.
Was it Martha? The liberal who was
Bring in
banned.
Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, make them official advisors, make them officially
Julian
work for the
Assange,
company.
yes.
Julian Assange, get him in there. Snowden, get him in there.
I mean, what was her exact role?
The head of Trust and Safety.
Why did you just get rid of that department? Because I don't think her department actually cared about trust and safety. I think
sure. But look, there are people who post criminal, images, right? Of child abuse is the easiest example. You do need someone to be like, hey, we are actively making sure this stuff is not. It's not easy. I mean, of all nights to not have Ian on, we kind of could use his perspective because he did this stuff with Minds. He co-founded it. He did a lot of this stuff.
Megan Murphy. Excuse me.
Megan Murphy. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway. There's a lot of hard work that goes into act. Look,
wait.
Censorship is good.
I support.
Hold on. Censorship is good.
What?
Censorship is good. Censorship is a neutral term. What we don't like is political and biased censorship. What we do like is when they censor images of child abuse.
Absolutely.
And then forward that to the police and have those people arrested.
Or if you're like, hey, I know how to break into the bank. Here's the code. Here's the security route, etc.
That is censorship. And so for someone to be sitting back there being like,
here's Tim Pool's social security number.
Exactly. Get it out of there. Doxing, I disagree with, even though doxing's First Amendment. You're allowed to do it.
Sure.
I think we all agree.
Well, they did it to libs of TikTok.
Right. So address, name, whatever, like.
Revenge porn.
Right.
I'm against revenge porn.
So you need someone sitting there reviewing content to pull that stuff. The problem is they decided certain political concepts were also objectionable.
Right.
And that's where we said, hey, that's bad.
Yeah,
That
and
is not
journalism, not just political concepts, but
journalism.
actual journalism. And whether you were on the left wing or right wing, a lot of people got hit because they dared to question the establishment, the agenda, and the official narratives that are being shoved down our throats. And a lot of people just think it's right wing institutions. No. A lot of left-wing institutions, antiwar.com, Free Thought Project, antimedia.com. So many other individuals got hit, and and a lot of people have forgotten about them. But these individuals also deserve to have their accounts back, deserve Carrie Wedler, also another individual banned on Twitter for some reason. She's also another fellow anarchist. Again, that was just hit and dinged for what? Expressing critical thinking of what they were trying to get us all to conform to.
Look, that's why I'm calling for a general amnesty.
Yeah, bring back the Krasenstein brothers.
Hassan Piker has called for Trump to be reinstated. Breaking news. He says
somebody's worried. Somebody's worried.
What does that exact tweet say? I can't see that.
Don't care, unban Trump.
Don't care, unban Trump.
Yo, hey, Trump is money. Trump
fight
is
Sam
money,
Hyde.
and
How
everybody
about
knows
you
it.
fight Sam Hyde? How about that?
Right, I've been saying that for a long time.
Look. Luke mentioned this the other day, but these journalists right now are going, yes.
Thank money.
They're sitting, right now, there's like alarms going off at newsrooms, and they're like,
The Coliseum is reopening.
Trump may be coming back.
Yeah.
We got to get a team together for this. I'm going to call the advertisers, let them know our views are going through the roof. Let's get it.
You've seen that video they made of like Elon in the control room, and then Trump signing back on Twitter. So this could potentially happen tomorrow.
Right. Well, the second Trump comes back onto Twitter, there's a certain Republican politician who thinks he's a contender for 2024 who's going to lose like all of the
Mike
limelight.
Pompeo
And
Mike Pence.
A lot of these Republicans have benefited, that think that they have a chance at 24, have benefited from Trump not being on the town square.
So,
and he's about to re-enter the arena.
Is he? Because he says he's not going to do it.
Well,
Donald Trump said specifically, I don't care.
You mean get him back on Twitter?
Yeah, I don't care. But he publicly said, I don't care. I don't want to be on Elon Musk's platform. I want to be on Truth Social. That's what he said publicly.
Let's just say that
he has to be on Twitter.
Let's just say
I know he does, but he says he's not going to. And he has a big ego, and his ego usually decides a lot of the policies.
Let's
be
just
honest
say there might have been a reason he had to say that, but he's going to be back if he's allowed back.
So right now, a fatter version of me is being tweeted about by Benny Johnson. There's a clip So I want to play it because I don't even know what I'm saying in this.
Nice
with a
baby.
list of private phone numbers, addresses, yet Kathy Griffin, she's fine. The guy who threatened the lives of these kids in Covington and said, lock them in the school and burn it down, you did nothing. I mean, he got suspended, he had to take his tweets down. Was he banned for threatening the lives of kids? Absolutely not.
So again, we have, and I'm happy to talk about all these details. We have our policies that are meant to protect people, and they're meant to enable free expression as long as you're not trying to silence somebody else. Now, we take a variety of different enforcement mechanisms around that. Sometimes you get warned. Sometimes your tweet is forced to be deleted. It's a very rare occasion where we will outright suspend someone without any sort of warning or any sort of
That's them laughing on the
ability
show.
to understand
That's
what happened.
me and
What did
Joe.
you guys do with it?
But Tim, those accounts were actioned. They may not have been actioned the way you wanted to, but the tweets were forced to be deleted, and the account
Sure.
took a penalty for that. So
I understand that,
What
but
kind of a penalty?
well, again, as I said earlier, Joe, we don't usually automatically suspend accounts with one violation because we want people to
I love how
learn.
Joe's
We
just
want
not
people to
taking it.
understand what they did wrong and give them an opportunity not to do it again.
Right.
And it's a big thing to kick someone off the platform, and I take that very, very seriously.
So
I want to make sure that when someone violates our rules, they understand what happened and they're given an opportunity to get back on the platform and change their behavior. And so in many of these cases, what happens is we will force someone to acknowledge that their tweet violated our rules, force them to delete that tweet before they can get back on the platform. And in many cases, if they do it again, we give them a timeout, which is like 7 days. And we say, look, you've done it again.
Suspension.
It's a temporary suspension. If you do it
Time out. You're a mom.
I forgot how
I'm
bad
totally
this
a mom,
is.
exactly.
I forgot how bad
And,
A new mom, too.
and if you do it again, then you're done.
Right.
So it's kind of like, 3 strikes. So it's sort of like baseball. And so in some of these cases that Tim is referencing, I have to imagine, because these tweets were deleted, they are violations of our rules. People are upset that the account came back again and was allowed to say other things, but we did take action on those tweets. They were violations of our rules.
So there was a period on Twitter where people were saying the word groomer, and it means a specific thing. It's a reference to an adult of any background, of any sexuality or origin or race, trying to introduce sexualized concepts to children for the sake of, getting them into sexual circumstances. And that word still means that. There was a campaign by a bunch of leftists that it was actually an anti-LGBTQ slur. Twitter initiated a new rule without making any announcements, retroactively enforcing this as hate speech.
Yep.
And then I got locked out of my account. It said, simply delete the tweet and you can come back. Well, I got news for you, Twitter. I just did not. I don't care about the platform. There's a lot of people who are like, I refuse to take it down. I'm like, delete, whatever, dude. Like, it's like, who's going to see me having said something 3 months ago that they're banning now? The tweet's gone. And I routinely erase old tweets anyway. But the point is, she's lying. I broke no rules. I expressed a legitimate political opinion. Vijaya, you never fix the platform. Jack Dorsey and Vijaya told me after that show, we are working on a path to redemption.
Yep.
It should not be a life sentence when someone says something wrong for the third time. They never did it. Jack never did it. She never did it. Good effing riddance.
Yep, they were lying through their teeth. They never followed through with anything that they promised, and they still began to use the platform as their own kind of political punishment tool for trying to hurt people for expressing a wrong thing. Again, Jordan Peterson, he's still locked out of Twitter to this day right now, which is absolutely crazy. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think a lot of people didn't do anything wrong, and they were taken out of the major town hall that everyone depends on for speech.
Look, she got what she deserved.
Yeah.
She just got it. But here's I have a question actually, because should we put these two stories together? Should we connect some dots here? Because so we were told, right, that the Tesla engineers were going in to look at the code. That was this afternoon. And then here we are, and it's 3 hours behind, so it's about 6 p.m. San Francisco time, and now just a few hours after the Tesla engineers were allowed to look at Twitter's code, the entire, as we would say in the Navy, head shed, the entire leadership, it looks like almost the entire C-suite.
The head of the snake.
The head of the snake has been completely lopped off by Elon Musk on day one. Day one, you're fired.
That's great. But also, what's terrifying...
I think he found something. That's my point. I think he found
absolutely.
something.
How could he not? Because obviously they were doing something wrong. Right. Obviously they were fudging the data. They were lifting the scales. They were doing something that was absolutely wrong and unfair
because
to everyone.
He's got liability. He's got liability now. That if he found something and he didn't get rid of the employees as fast as possible, then the liability would be on him.
Yep. So here's
there's going to be lawsuits.
A text exchange.
Absolutely going to be lawsuits.
A text exchange that ended up getting released between former CEO Parag and Elon.
I love this.
He says, "You are free to tweet, is Twitter dying, or anything else about Twitter, but it's my responsibility to tell you that it's not helping me make Twitter better in the current context. Next time we speak, I'd like to provide you perspective on the level of internal distraction right now and how it's hurting our ability to do work. I hope the AMA will help people get to know you, to understand why you believe in Twitter, and to trust you. And I'd like the company to get to a place where we are more resilient and don't get distracted, but we aren't there right now." Elon responded, "What did you get done this week? I'm not joining the board. This is a waste of time. We'll make an offer to take Twitter private." Imagine being in this position and someone's rich enough to buy out your company and you're like, "You listen here, young man. I'm going to tell you what you can't do." And it's like, "Bro, I will buy your company and fire you."
You saw the letter, right?
What letter?
That the open letter that was being circulated by Twitter employees.
Oh yeah, they were like, "Don't fire any of us. We demand it
for our political beliefs," they said.
Right.
You shouldn't. They said you shouldn't come down on someone for their political beliefs.
Yeah, it's incredible.
This is a group of people that I think for people like Vijaya, go back to listen to the hubris that's in her voice 3 years ago talking to you, Tim, and the response that I'm your mother. I tell you when you're in timeout, when you're not. I tell you when you've been a good boy or when you've been a bad boy. I will correct your behavior based on my beliefs. This is someone who never in her entire life, and it's not just her, but it's all these employees who signed this letter, they've never had to face actual accountability at any point in their entire lives until about 5 minutes ago.
True. Yep. And that woman that you just talked about, just had that mindset. She also had that mindset when thinking about the president of the United States. When Donald Trump was banned, he was sitting in the Oval Office. And as Luke mentioned, it is the most important, influential platform in the world. And that girl boss, Vijaya, which is a fun name to say, by the way, I'm just going to throw that out there. But she banned the sitting president of the United States for a lie, which has been proven to be a lie. There needs to be accountability.
The first thing I would love to see, or I should say, I hope Elon, I know it won't happen, but Elon, if you're listening, invite Alex Jones to a tour of Twitter HQ right now. Just bring him in.
Yes.
Show him around. And that's it. I mean, just give him a tour and say, here's what's going on. Here's what's happening. And the reason I mean this quite seriously, and the reason is many of these people in San Francisco think fake things about Alex Jones because the media's lied to them. They have never escaped. They've never been outside of this bubble. Bring Alex Jones into the bubble. Let him walk around, introduce him to people. Hey, nice to meet you. And and that's all they'll get. And they'll be like, that actually wasn't so bad. Start normalizing interactions. So be it Trump Jr., Alex Jones, Milo, or whoever, invite them in, say, come in, be polite. I want to show you around and you can introduce you to these people and we're going to try and solve these problems with the political bias. That is a huge step towards having these people be like, well, Alex came here yesterday and then nothing happened. He just kind of walked around and smiled and shook hands. I was scared. I thought it was going to be bad. And then why would you think that?
All of this goes back to the anti-bullying campaigns. All of this. That this idea that you can't stand up for yourself, that you must avoid confrontation and then take everything to a higher authority. That you have to go to, if someone's bullying you, it's don't stand up for yourself, don't assert yourself, have no self-confidence, just run to the teacher, run to the principal.
Be a snitch, tattletale.
Be a tattletale, all this stuff. You have created this culture that has infected the entire rest of our society where we cannot. And you see this, by the way, you see it with millennials. You certainly see it with Zoomers. They cannot handle direct confrontation, even if it's someone that in their mind, right, is a bad person. And you see it when these videos with Alex Jones is kind of like walking around Seattle or whatever it is, and they see him and they're faces just begin contorting. You've actually created this mental weakness and crutch in people that never used to exist before.
This is a great idea, Tim, and it shouldn't just be Alex Jones. It should be everyone that was banned for their political speech.
Yeah.
No, let's have a day where all the Twitter employees now have to meet the people that they banned on social media. have an outing, have a picnic day, bring out every single person that was punished for their political beliefs, and have a day where they all just meet each other, and then that would be beautiful to see, first of all, and second of all, you could get rid of a lot of the stigma, a lot of the tensions between everyone, and all the fear, as you mentioned, and I think that would be magical to see.
Yeah, I like that idea. And Jack, you're 100% spot on with the bullying campaigns. Look, it sounds nice in theory, but the lasting consequences are horrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell the whole story since we're on YouTube, but let's just say that my 4-year-old was at preschool, and I came home and his clothes were a little dirty, and I said, Jack, what happened? He said, oh, one of the kids pushed me at school today, and I said, okay. I'm not going to finish the entire story, but let's just say I didn't tell him to go and run to the teacher the next time it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what my father did when I got bullied. I got pushed down. He said, you see that kid? You get the biggest one, you punch him as hard as you can in the face. And I did, and I stood up for myself, and I was so happy I did.
Is this statement from Trump real?
Which one?
Whoa, what do you got?
What did he say?
Congratulations to Elon Musk on his purchase of Twitter. Many people are saying that change was needed, as the old management was too concerned with the woke agenda. I have been told that my account will be back up and running on Monday. We will see. Happy to be able to engage with an African-American owned business.
No, it's not real.
I don't know.
That doesn't sound like him, but it's important to note here that in May of this year, Elon Musk specifically said that when he would buy Twitter, he would allow the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, to return with his account. Donald Trump then swiftly answered when Elon Musk said he would bring him back, saying, quote, specifically, I am not going on Twitter. I'm going to stay on Truth. I hope Elon buys Twitter because he'll make improvements to it, and he is a good man, but I am going to be staying on Truth. I will be truthing. That's the official statement by Donald Trump in May of this year.
I don't think the statement's real. I don't think the statement's real.
The statement that I just said.
I know.
Luke,
that was a
statement's
I'm saying
real.
The one I mentioned was a funny meme. But Luke, you keep saying that.
Yes.
We get it. But Trump has to be on Twitter,
He
period.
does.
He can say whatever he wants. It's irrelevant. He has to be on Twitter, period.
Right.
Of course, if you want to be a part of the conversation, yes. Will he? That's the big question.
Yes, he will.
I'm a betting man. I bet yes.
I will make a gentleman's bet with you, good sir.
Yes.
He will come back on the platform. The 60 to 80 million. How many followers did he have? 80, 100?
88.
88 million.
88 was on the last one I saw.
And he's got, 4 or 5 on Truth Social?
Something like that.
His die-hard supporters are on Truth Social. His ability to manipulate the press is on Twitter. He said that because there's a SPAC merger involved. He has to say that. But I'm telling you, he has no choice but to go back on Twitter.
Agreed. And also, January's coming, and Trump's 2-year ban on Meta, on
4.3.
Facebook, on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, it's up.
That's over
We're
too.
back, baby!
So the 2-year timeout on Trump, it's coming to an end here.
Yeah, I
and
think
the
by the
memes
way,
are just
though,
getting ready, baby.
By the way, though, let's and far be it from me to be the Debbie Downer or whatever, but the regime's going to strike back on Elon.
Yeah, I mean, they're already launching a probe into him.
It's not just the regime.
They're going to go after SpaceX. They're going to go after Starlink. They're going after Tesla. They're going to come in and say, well, we can't allow. Remember, and there was that trial balloon last week to say, well, the CFIUS, we're going to look at your funding, the investment here. So and then they pulled it away immediately and said, oh no, that's not true. That's not actually happening.
Yeah.
That was a message.
But
that was a message to Elon.
And it's not just the federal government. It's also big players like Bill Gates that were organizing PR campaigns and organizations and groups to pull money from Twitter when Elon Musk would buy it. This was in the works. Bill Gates was planning to attack Twitter, to attack the advertisers, to start a whole PR campaign to try to bring Twitter down. Specifically, this was even admitted with all of the money and all the influence he has. So right now, Elon Musk, he chopped off the head of the snake. He's the head right now, and I think there's going to be people coming after it.
You know what he should have done? He should have gotten like a black cloak with a hood and then put on roller skates or rollerblades so that he would float slowly into Twitter HQ looking and pointing, you're fired. Just like, and it would be very demonic as he
What was that movie where they came in with the paintball gun?
Oh, yeah. It was, no. Was that Suits?
that Suits?
That show?
Yeah,
That
where he comes with
yeah.
it's
Entourage.
like the Entourage.
Okay.
Yeah, the gel blaster.
Yeah, that was good.
I
But
mean, I don't know about
what I'm most excited
that.
about is the word with Twitter being bought by Elon is we don't have to wait for any more strongly worded letters from Lindsey Graham about reining in big tech, because Elon just went out and bought it.
Look, that being said, I'm just going to say it, right? This is not, the get rich quick scheme. This is not the magic wand being waved and acting like all of the fundamental problems and issues that we've been talking about and this program has been discussing for the last 2 years. They haven't magically gone away because Elon did this. This is a stopgap measure at best.
Right.
And those issues are going to continue until the people of this country actually come forward, put forward serious legislation on big tech. And I think there still is a place, by the way, for Getter, for Truth Social, for Rumble, for all these. I certainly hope that Elon, I think based on what we've just seen, this is definitely a step in the right direction for integration between Twitter and Rumble. But at the same time, you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. You should never do that. Look, as I'm sure as Ian would say if you were here, you never leave all your stash in one place.
Absolutely. And it's important to understand here. Now, I think we're finally going to get some big tech regulations in federal government.
So the Daily
Not in a
Beast
good way.
just
but-
had a piece about that saying this is why we have to be careful about big tech oligarchs. Suddenly.
Well, I mean, the reason the censorship went crazy in the first place is because, our great veterans of the meme war in 2016, like Jack, we use social media so effectively.
And Luke.
And
He was
Luke
there.
and
a lot of people who got deleted.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. The POWs of the great meme war of 2015, 2016, that once you let those riveting frogs return onto Twitter and the social media platforms writ large and just actually allow people to speak freely and share information, right? A lot of this goes back to the WikiLeaks drops in the fall of 2016 and the fact that people were simply discussing the words and phrases and content of those WikiLeaks drops, whether it be the DNC emails, the Podesta emails, et cetera, Hillary Clinton stuff that came out. That was why they started turning the screws on everybody
100%.
else and claiming that, you made up this and you made up. No. Everybody was reading the words of your own emails. That was from y'all.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.